Without further ado, the Utilities and Streets Committee is called to order, and McLaughlin and myself on the committee are here. And so without further ado, John, what do you got?
Very good. Well, I thought it was going to be a short presentation this morning or this afternoon, but that didn't hold true. So we had 20 slides to go over, so shouldn't take too long, but some of it's repeat, but there's some items we need to discuss here with the utilities. As always, it's always extremely busy. So as soon as Joe has that pulled up, we'll kind of get started here.
Where in the world?
I can pull it up on my screen, Joe. It's all right.
Hold on. Tell you what. That way I can keep doing other stuff.
I'll just go off my screen. Did you guys, does anybody else have it?
You know how to go ahead and share it now, John. Do you know how to do that?
No. I don't.
All right, I'll do it.
I thought for a second when I saw Steve's picture pop up that was Nathan. I was going to say, what are you doing with a stocking cap on? But that's not Nathan.
You like my stocking cap, Mayor?
I do like it. I thought, what's Nathan doing on the island with a stocking cap or whatever?
I promised not to rub it in and not show any pictures. So
There you go.
Very good. Well, Joe, unfortunately, you got to scroll forward.
I can do that.
Okay. All right. All right, very good. Well, we're going to start with dish petition update. The final language for the dish petition has been populated. The petition is scheduled to start collecting the required signatures this Friday, which will be tomorrow. Mayor Shag will be signing the petition for the watershed area inside of the city corporation limits. Rural property owners will be signing the petition for the watershed area outside of the city corporation limits. Mr. John Schroeder will be collecting the signatures for the rural community. The petition filing date is now scheduled for the week of February 22nd. These will allow for more time to collect the petitioning signatures for the rural area property owners and a final review with county officials from the Soil Water Conservation District as well. Petition will be hand delivered to the clerk of the board of the county commissioners. This will provide assurance of the delivery and a recorded timestamp of that delivery date. Okay, Joe, you can slide down. Before we go to this, any questions there on the dish petition? Okay. Pollinating field discussion, associated costs to maintain the former reservoir number 1 area. That's approximately 15 acres of open field that is currently being mowed. Costs are based on the following specifications: weekly mowing at 26 times per year, depending on normal rainfall and temperatures. 1 mower, 1 equipment operator, estimated time to mow at 3.5 hours per week, estimated annual fuel used at 208 gallons per year. The following slides will show the estimated annual cost for maintaining the property. Go forward there, Joe. Thank you. You can see here on this slide here, the breakdown. So the estimated time to mow, again, 3.5 hours. Number of times mowed per year is 26 times. That's going to equate to an annual hours right around 91 hours per year. The estimated annual fuel consumed is 208 gallons. Average cost per the gallon is right around $2.25 for a total estimated annual fuel cost of $468. Hourly average wage of the operator is $23. Estimated annual hours of the task is 91. So the estimated total operator expense would be $2,093. You add the $468 for the fuel cost. The estimated annual expense to mow the field throughout the year is $2,561. So we're investing right around $2,500 a year in annual maintenance just to mow the old reservoir number 1 area, location. So that's one of the reasons why this site was specifically looked at for the pollinating field. So, okay, scroll down there, Joey, please. Thanks. The soil analysis is currently being reviewed by the Department of Agricultural Conservationists at the county and state level to help determine what soil actions will be needed to help develop a successful pollinating field. Upon receiving their report and recommendations for soil preparations and the native seed selection for the planting, a meeting will be scheduled with Richland Soil and Water Conservation District reps, the Bee and Butterfly Habitat Fund representatives, and Mr. Randy Eisenhower, the VOAG instructor, to develop the scope for the project. Research has been conducted on the process to file an application to become a bee city. One of the processes in the application to become a bee city is to pass legislation designating the city as a bee city. Any questions from the committee? All right, just a quick little update here on the stormwater management surcharge. We've been reviewing this for the last couple meetings. This is just gonna be a quick review. So again, the transparency of the surcharge, this would be for the stormwater management surcharge. The transparency, the surcharge will be listed on the utilities bill under the title stormwater management. Posting of the surcharge collection, the collection from the surcharge will be posted to the Fund 402. This is the sewer improvement fund under the new revenue line item identified as stormwater management. The projected annual collection from the surcharge is right around $85,000, and expenditures of this from the surcharge would be dispersed from the expense line items within the 402 fund, again, which is the sewer improvement fund. Next slide here, Joe. Again, recap of this. On top here, you see the water capital improvement surcharge. This was dissolved at the end of the year. And from the dissolvement of those 4 particular designated categories, senior disabled, residential, commercial, industrial, from that, the one fund of the asset management fund, that was implemented. And now we're looking at a proposed stormwater management surcharge to take the difference between the two, between the asset management fund, which has been pulled from the water capital improvement, that dissolvement, then the sewer, storm sewer management surcharge that's proposed would bring in the other half of that collection that used to be called the water capital improvement. So we're taking the one surcharge, dividing it into two new surcharges. So in the stormwater management surcharge that is proposed, the senior citizen disabled surcharge would be $1.75, residential be $1.75, commercial $1.75, the industrial is $3. That is a slight increase from what they were paying on the water capital improvement surcharge, but they do have a larger impervious footprint. That was some of the reasoning behind that. So next slide here, Joe.
Hey, John?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, I just wonder, in somewhere, I mean, we all know this, but the word monthly, maybe, I mean, yeah, I'm
Yes,
saying, I'm just,
it's a good point. Absolutely. It's in the
not necessarily on the bill, I'm just saying in the description of this stormwater management monthly surcharge. Maybe we should put the word monthly in between the word improvement and surcharge. See what you think.
Yeah, we could do that.
Think it
Yeah,
over.
with the next slide, you'll see that the legislation is already prepared. It's at the law director's office for review and development for the council at the next council meeting. But yeah, for the slide presentation, we could definitely put it in there to have it sent out that way. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think most probably understand it, but then they may think, well, that's not bad, $1.75 a year, you know?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't really clearly state monthly or annually.
Right. All right. Yeah.
Yep, we put that in there. Absolutely.
Okay.
And you can see we just legislation prepared for the 16th. So next Tuesday. All right. So utility bills. The utilities office staff has been receiving phone calls from concerned residents about the whereabouts of their utility bills. The bills were delivered to the Shelby Post Office on January 29th. From there, the bills were sent to Cleveland for sorting, and then they are to be shipped back to Shelby for delivery. Unless the mailing address is outside of the Shelby area, then it's delivered to another postal office. From the collected reports, most of the utility bills have not been delivered as of today. Interesting note here, the utility bills mailed out with bulk postage has not been sent back to Shelby for delivery. The bulk postage makes up the majority of the bills that are mailed, but some of the bills mailed out with extra postage has been sorted, returned, and delivered. So Residents are encouraged to do one of the following to ensure their bill is paid on time. That'll be on the next slide. They can call the utility office for assistance. They can visit the city website. On the home page, click on Pay Utilities button. This will allow the customer to pay online by credit card. Note there is an online payment convenience fee of $4.95. They can view their bill and they can print their bill as well. They can utilize the bill payment option services from Invoice Cloud. They can pay bill by text messaging, pay bill by email, pay bill by ACH, the automated clearinghouse. If this option, the bill is paid by various methods, it's e-check, debit, credit, whatever the customer would choose for their selection. But note there is a convenience fee of $4.95 associated with these services. Or a customer can utilize the payment option service from the utilities office. They pay by ACH. Again, it's the automated clearinghouse. Bill is paid every month on the 8th automatically from your checking account. Service is free. The customers just need to fill out the application. Applications will be picked up here at the utilities office. Here's Joe. The February utilities bill are due on February 16th. Usually the bills are due on the 15th of the month, but with the utilities office being closed on Monday, February 15th to observe President's Day, the bills are due this month on the 16th. Okay. Balance levelization and rate rider. Just a little refresher here. The balance levelization rate rider is an authorized action to lower the electric fund balance by $1 million over a 5-year period. The target design is to lower the fund balance by $200,000 per year. The negative rate rider issues a credit on the utilities bill. The credit is calculated by multiplying the kilowatt hours consumed by the negative rate rider amount. The amount is, the program was initiated in July of 2019 by Ordinance 12, 2019. Balance levelization credits since inception. So the first 6 months of the program, this will be from July through December 2019, issued a credit of $79,219. By using the first 6 months of as the barometer, the program was projected to be short of the target by an estimated $40,000. So the rate rider was increased from 0.00163 to 0.0020 by Ordinance 6, 2020. The new rate was adjusted in the billing system in April of 2020. So from January through December of 2020, a credit was issued of the dollar amount of $179,476. The projected kilowatt hours sold was lower than expected. COVID-related stay-at-home orders during the months of March through April reduced the kilowatt hours sold for the year. Go to the next slide there. So you can see here the 12 months of 2020, month by month, the credit amount that was issued to the ratepayer, to the electric ratepayers throughout the 5,000 account customers here with the city of Shelby. So you can see where we have full total credit 179,416 and 15 cents. So you can see there at the beginning of the year, it's fairly flat. And we start coming out of the stay-at-home orders. You can see where it jumps up there in July. Then, of course, it tapers back off in the shorter months of October, November, that slowly starts going back up in December. So that's pretty standard. Okay, next slide there, Joe. So the projected energy to be sold in 2021 is expected to be flat compared to the previous years. Thought to keep the balance levelization close to the credit target for 2021 would be to increase the negative rate rider. Increase the negative rate rider from 0.0020 to 0.0022. Just a note, an increase in the negative rate rider provides an increase to the credit. So the proposed amended negative rate rider is figured from the kilowatt hours sold in 2020. So if we're looking at the kilowatt hours sold, 94,297,661 kilowatt hours. You multiply that by the proposed negative rate rider of 0.0022, the projected credit would be $207,455. So there are outside influences that change the total annual credit. So the lack of kilowatt hours sold or more kilowatt hours sold would change this number, of course. So this is just a number that we have to use, or a number that's being utilized to calculate the projected credit. So we're not going to have exactly 94,297,661 kilowatt hours sold next year. If so, we should all play the lottery, but that's highly unlikely. But it's going to be it gives us a barometer to work off of. So
It should be noted that 90 million of those kilowatt hours went to the household of Nathan Martin.
good portion, Dad. So with this conversation with Councilman Martin, legislation has been prepared for the February 16th council meeting to increase the negative rate rider from 0.0020 to 0.0022. So that would provide an additional increase to the ratepayers. Credit, I should say, make sure I rephrase that, an increased credit on the utilities bill. So, all right.
Correct. And we're all slated for that to go on the 16th.
Yes, we are, Nathan. I submitted it over to the law director earlier this week.
Perfecto.
Very good. All righty. Generation rate. This is another conversation that Councilman Martin and I had earlier last week. So the generation rate is one of the components in the energy charge on the electric bill that influences the cost per kilowatt hour. The rate is designed to cover the expenses for the operation and maintenance of the diesel generators. This would include the labor and the associated costs, diesel fuel testing, EPA permits, maintenance, repairs, etc. The rate has been reviewed and adjusted several times over the last few years. The electric cost studies and the rate reviews performed by energy consultants have helped establish a rate platform that allows the rate to be reviewed and adjusted as needed. The best review period is performed after the annual revenues and expenses are populated. With the closing of the 2020 fiscal year, the revenues and expenses are currently being reviewed. Okay, there, Joe. The initial review is showing a positive performance. The revenues or reduction in transmission capacity costs exceed the expenses. The cost for service for the operation and maintenance is lower than the current collection. So both of these components are still being reviewed, but if they are true, a reduction in the generation charge could be entertained. And the final review is being planned to be presented to the committee at the March meeting. So I'm still reviewing the numbers on the savings and the expenses. But again, we definitely have a positive performance with the generator. So they are definitely reducing the cost per kilowatt in our community. So I'll have that information for the committee next month. So there is no legislation, Nathan, as of for the next council meeting. It'll be probably a month from now. It'll be in the March 15th meeting. So if the committee so chooses to move forward with a different generation rate, I'd populate the legislation for that during the March meeting. All right. So, I'm sorry.
I was saying, yep, that's fine. That sounds good.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right. Service Department, Division of Streets, salting events. The Service Department crews have been extremely busy this winter with maintaining the streets and alleys throughout the city. The crews have been out 33 times to salt the streets over the last several months. The many 1-inch snow events have plagued the roads with very slippery conditions and have kept the crews out treating the roads with salt. The crews have done an excellent job at keeping the streets in drivable condition. They are committed, hard work, and is shared and recognized throughout the city and by other communities. So we're going to go through some of the salt inventory here. As we know, the storage bin capacity is 1,600 tons. The average annual usage is 1,600 tons. Salt used this season to date is 1,600 tons. So this salting season is going to exceed the average usage. We know we're going to have some more salting events here in the very near future, according to the extended forecast. So salt in stock is 400 tons. Salt ordered ordered is 400 tons. We have not received it, but we do have 400 tons currently on order, and we are expecting their delivery soon. So on the next slide, we're going to look at the salt prices and tonnage obligations. The Ohio Department of Transportation contracted salt price came in at $55.96 a ton. And we were required to purchase 1,200 tons. So you see the next bullet here, the contract requires us to buy 1,200 tons. This obligation has been fulfilled. The contract does allow us to purchase up to 110% of the tonnage requested. So we could purchase another 120
120, isn't it?
ton. Yeah, 120 ton. Get on my notes there. So the county salt price it was at $39.79 a ton. Currently buying salt from the county. Again, we've ordered 400 ton. Planning to order another 200 ton. I just received a purchase requisition from the superintendent this afternoon. But here's what we need to keep in mind here. If the budget allows, we would like to continue to purchase salt from the county to replenish the storage bin. This action will require legislation to purchase the additional purchases after this other 200 tons. Current purchases are nearing the $25,000 threshold. So we're getting close to that $25,000 threshold. So if we get into a situation where we want to, if we're allowed and we continue to purchase salt, we'd like to go through the county, but that's going to require legislation to do so. Again, because we're
Hey, John?
nearing that threshold. Yes, sir.
This is a pretty good price per ton, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
So, I think we should probably hope to have regardless of where we're at, we should fill up our bins to the 1,600, fill them full with this pricing.
I agree. Yeah, we have to take a look at the amount of money that we have that's going to be appropriated this year. And if the budget allows, yes, we would like to spend as much money as we can to fill the salt bin up as full as we can go. So if we can get,
I remember what 2 years ago was like $110 a ton. So
yes, it was.
The only problem with that is we've already ordered our allotment from ODOT, and we've already ordered our allotment, what we said we were going to from the county, because we normally go through 1,600 tons.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get more, if they will allow us to keep buying at that price, I mean, they could tell us no, because we told them we were only going to buy 400 tons,
Mm-hmm.
and we're already there. But if they keep allowing us, sure, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Keep.
Let's check on that, and I support us doing that. So whatever legislation we need to write to that effect, I just think it makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it was at the $70, $80 mark, maybe not, but at $40 a ton, it's a great hedge to the future. It doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't think we're going to see $40 a ton on a recurring basis year in, year out.
I would agree. Yeah.
Another thing, fuel prices are expected to go up quite a bit here. So to get that stuff here might make it go up anyways.
That's true.
I agree with all that. But we share that same fund with paving. Am I right, John?
We do.
Miscellaneous paving, or not miscellaneous, but smaller jobs outside the paving contract. So I'm right with you, Nathan. I'm just hoping we can get a lot of salt and still be able to do a good amount of paving, but they do come out of the same fund, or at least partially, right, John?
They do. Correct.
I guess what I'm saying is, for this year, because of those circumstances, I'm supportive of, when we go to appropriations, increasing the balance and getting that money there where it needs to be, even if it means taking it from general fund or wherever. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to spite ourselves for next year just because we didn't want to make the stuff this year.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
I share your concern, Mayor. We don't want to do this and then us not be able to do the paving projects we try to do.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we'll find a way. If we can keep getting at that price, I agree. Somehow, some way.
Yeah, we have the appropriations meeting for the streets and utilities next week. That'd be a great place to discuss.
Hey, speaking of discussing that, kind of after our finance committee meeting, Nathan, you gonna be back Thursday, the 18th?
Yeah, I get back Sunday, so
Okay. We're looking maybe in
I
the morning. John, I don't know what you're thinking, just kind of penciled in to throw out for consideration. I gotta check with Darren, 8:30 Thursday morning, hopefully 3.5 hours, be out of here by noon. I didn't check your calendar, John. But if that sounds doable, that date worked for Garland.
that works for me.
Okay, and Stevie, it works for Steve. So Darren would be, and Charlie, I gotta check with Charlie, of course. So we'll tentatively plan for that. Garland said he could maybe do it Wednesday, but Thursday morning would work better for him.
I'm available that day, so yeah, I'll definitely. I
Okay,
can move-
all right.
move my
Thursday is definitely better than Wednesday.
Okay, it's the same way for Garland. So hopefully that'll work for Charlie and Darren as well. Okay, sorry, John, didn't mean to
No
butt in.
problem. Very good. Okay. Okay, go next slide here, Joe. All right, we have recently implemented the conservative salting procedure to make sure we have enough salt available for the rest of the salting season. Salting usually stops in March. First week or so, we might have a little bit of salt here and there, but they usually get into mid-March and forward. The days are longer, days are warmer, so we usually tend to stop salting there in March. But so again, the salting procedure to conserve the salting applications, we're looking at the hills as needed, Whitney Avenue, Railroad Bridge, full application on the overpass, bridges as needed, secondary roads, intersections only as needed, Main Street, intermediate salting, Gamble, intermediate salting, safety service areas as needed, and schools as needed. So with it, with the intermittent salting, it's they figure about it once every third pole, they'll flip the switch to throw the salt. So that's kind of how that's determined. So it's like every third utility poles where they throw salt. All right, paving project update. Engineering is compiling and reviewing the final material list for the street paving bid specifications. The bid legislation has been pushed back by this one council meeting. So we were hoping to have hoping for the February 16th meeting to present the paving project, but the bid preparation will need a couple more weeks to complete. The legislation is on track for the March 1st council meeting. Here's a thought for discussion. Would be to advertise the paving bid at its earliest convenience. Would the committee entertain the idea of presenting the street paving legislation by emergency? So emergency legislation would allow the paving project to be advertised during the first couple of weeks in March, and then have the bid opening in mid to late March. Without the emergency, the legislation would need to sit for 30 days, then proceed with the advertisement in early April and have the bid opening in mid to late April. An earlier bid could bring a better price for the project, which could free up some money for additional paving projects and possibly salt.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. That's no problem. And then I'll be briefing this to council on the 16th, so I can let them know that it's coming with emergency, and that if they have any questions beforehand, to reach out to us, and we should be good on that.
Very good. Thank you. That's awesome. All right. Last slide here, light plant property demolition. Change order for the light plant outbuilding demolition project. Additional work was required to assist with the unexpected excavation, breakup, and disposal of extremely large sections of the concrete foundation from the former ice plant building. Numerous large sections of the foundation, the size of a small car, was unearthed during the excavation work. The change order was requested for $10,000, and legislation is being prepared for the March 1st council meeting. So, I don't know if anybody had driven by during that excavation and seen those large pieces of concrete that they had unearthed, but they were the size of a small car. So, any thoughts there? All right, very good. All right, that was 20 slides with a lot of information, as always. So,
Thank you.
Absolutely. Good information as well. And I just want to circle back and definitely give a kudos to our streets department for keeping our roads clear, especially compared with the communities around us. It's a noticeable difference. I was driving my daughter, school had been canceled, but she still had a therapy appointment. And we turned onto a street, and the street was horrible. And she said, "Oh, we must be on Shelby because the roads are bad." And so that comes from my 14-year-old. So it's not just the people that drive in it that notice. It's a lot of other people that notice too. So please give my regards and kudos.
absolutely. I'll pass it along.
All right, Mr. McLaughlin, do you have anything?
Nothing.
All right, with that, we will be adjourned. Thank you very much.
Wait,
Thank you.
wait.
Enjoy, Nathan.
You told me I got to adjourn today.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yep. All right.
Okay. All right, it's 4:03. We're adjourned.
Point of order. Point of order. No.